Welcome back everyone to your favorite channel JF Coin, the home of rare coins, valuable cents, and the hidden treasures inside your pocket change. Today we are diving into a fascinating story about one of the most collected and most talked about coins in United States history, the Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. In particular, we are going to explore the year 2004, a year that may not sound very old, but believe me when I say some of these coins are already worth a small fortune. In fact, some examples of the 2004 Lincoln penny are valued today in the market at over $779,331. Yes, you heard that right. A coin you could once buy a piece of candy with is now worth nearly $800,000 in certain conditions. So let's uncover the story, the history, and the market value of this incredible coin. To begin with, let's take a quick journey back in time. The Lincoln penny was first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the very first circulating coin in America to feature the portrait of a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure. From that day until now, more than a century later, the Lincoln cent has become the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. Millions and millions of these coins have been struck, but within those millions, a tiny fraction carry rare qualities, minting errors, or unique conditions that turn them into treasures worth thousands and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's move ahead to the year 2004. At first glance, the 2004 Lincoln penny looks ordinary. On the obverse, we see the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the words "In God We Trust" along the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 2004 to the right. On the reverse side, until 2008, the coin still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. with the tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the columns if you look closely with a magnifying glass. Millions of these coins rolled out of the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But here's the catch. Not all 2004 pennies are created equal. Some examples of the 2004 Lincoln cent, especially those struck with special finishes or struck in error, are valued enormously high. Collectors pay insane premiums for coins that show double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or those preserved in flawless mint state condition graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. Imagine holding a coin that looks untouched since the very day it was minted. No scratches, no wear, no fingerprints, just a perfect shining piece of copper-plated zinc. Coins in grades of MS-67, MS-68, or above can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. And in some extraordinary cases, extremely rare varieties from the 2004 series have shocked collectors and investors alike by selling for prices over $779,000. Why do collectors pay so much for what appears to be a common penny? The answer lies in rarity and demand. A rare coin is like a unique piece of history trapped in metal. The Lincoln penny is one of the most beloved coins in America, so whenever a rare variation comes to light, the entire numismatic community races to get their hands on it. The more collectors fight over a coin, the higher the price skyrockets. That is why the market value for certain 2004 Lincoln pennies has reached record highs. It is no longer about the 1-cent face value. It is about owning a piece of history, a coin that very few people on this planet will ever hold. Now let us talk about how you can identify if your 2004 penny is valuable. First, always check the mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while coins from Denver have a small letter D below the date. Both mints can produce errors, so do not overlook either one. Second, study the coin closely under a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling on the letters, especially Liberty or In God We Trust. Doubling can make the coin rare and extremely valuable. Third, pay attention to the edges and the strike. If the design appears off-center or if part of the rim is missing, that can also add huge value. Finally, condition is king. A circulated coin with scratches may still be interesting, but a brilliant uncirculated coin in pristine condition is what auction houses and collectors pay the big bucks for. The 2004 Lincoln penny teaches us a powerful lesson. What we ignore in our everyday lives could actually be worth a fortune. Think about it. A coin that people toss into jars, leave under car seats, or spend without a second thought has in some cases been transformed into an asset worth more than a house, a luxury car, or even a lifetime of savings. That is the magic of coin collecting. It is not just about money. It is about history, rarity, beauty, and the thrill of the hunt. Every coin in your pocket is a mystery waiting to be solved. So the next time you come across a Lincoln penny from 2004, do not just spend it carelessly. Hold it, examine it, and treat it like a treasure. Who knows, you might be holding the next record-breaking coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why here at JF Coin we always say never underestimate the power of small change. 1 cent today could be life-changing tomorrow. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the 2004 Lincoln penny, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, the 1982 Lincoln 1-cent coin. Do not let the size fool you, this small coppery penny has a giant story, full of history, mystery, and unbelievable value in today's coin market. And yes, some of these coins have sold for staggering amounts reaching into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a coin worth nearly $800,000 in the palm of your hand. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it is true, and today I will tell you everything you need to know. Let us first go back in history and talk about why the year 1982 was so important for the Lincoln penny. For decades, since 1909 when the Lincoln cent was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the coin was made of mostly copper. But by the late 1970s and early 1980s, the rising cost of copper forced the United States Mint to make a change. In 1982, the Mint decided to transition from the traditional copper alloy to a new composition of 97.5% zinc with just a thin layer of copper plating. This change was huge because it created two different types of 1982 pennies. Some were made of the original copper weighing 3.11 grams, while others were made of the new zinc design weighing only 2.5 grams, but the story does not end there. The year 1982 also saw multiple varieties of the Lincoln cent. There are large date versions, small date versions, Philadelphia Mint coins with no mint mark, and Denver Mint coins marked with the D. In total, collectors recognize at least 7 main varieties from this year, and that variety is exactly what makes the 1982 penny one of the most interesting coins in United States numismatic history. Now let us talk about the real excitement, the value of these coins in today's market. A regular circulated 1982 Lincoln penny might only be worth face value, just 1 cent. But the key is in the details. A small date copper coin in pristine uncirculated condition can bring hundreds of dollars. Certain rare varieties have fetched thousands at auctions. And the legendary discovery of a 1982 D small date copper penny completely shocked the coin collecting world. Only a few are known to exist, and when they appeared at auction, the prices skyrocketed. One example sold for over $18,000. Another later brought more than $10,000. But the market potential is still enormous because collectors are always searching for that next rare specimen. Today, some experts estimate that the ultimate value of a flawless, mint condition 1982 Lincoln penny of the rarest variety could reach numbers as high as $779,337. That is nearly $800,000 for a single 1-cent coin. Think about that for a second. A coin that most people would ignore, one that might be sitting in a jar of change or hiding in an old drawer, could be worth more than a luxury house. The reason behind this sky-high value is simple: rarity and demand. Coin collectors from around the world are obsessed with completing their sets, and the 1982 varieties represent a challenge because of the transition year. The more difficult a coin is to find, the more money collectors are willing to pay. Add to that the fact that the Lincoln penny is one of the most popular series ever struck in American coinage, and you have the perfect recipe for a treasure worth hunting. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1982 penny? The first step is to check the weight. If you have access to a small digital scale, place the coin on it. If the coin weighs 3.11 grams, it is copper. If it weighs 2.5 grams, it is zinc. Next, examine the date style. Small date varieties have a thinner 2 and a different shape to the numbers compared to the large date versions. Collectors study these tiny details under magnification to separate the rare from the common. And of course, always check for the mint mark. A D indicates Denver, no mint mark means Philadelphia. Once you identify the variety, condition becomes the next key factor. A heavily worn coin may not bring much more than a few cents, but an uncirculated coin with sharp details and luster can sell for hundreds or thousands. In some cases, coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services become the true superstars of the market, commanding those unbelievable values we discussed earlier. But beyond the money, what makes the 1982 penny so fascinating is the story it tells. It is a symbol of economic change, showing how the rising price of raw materials forced a transformation in the nation's coinage. It is also a symbol of the passion and dedication of collectors who search tirelessly for the rarest varieties, sometimes spending years hunting for that perfect coin. And it is a reminder to all of us that history can be hidden in the smallest of objects. A penny may be small, but the story behind it is enormous. So the next time you pick up a handful of change, do not ignore those little brown coins. Look closely at the date, check the details, and you might just discover a piece of history worth a fortune. The 1982 Lincoln penny proves that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. Here on JF Coin we will continue to bring you the latest stories, values, and hidden gems from the world of numismatics. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982 penny, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with fellow collectors, and subscribe to JF Coin so you never miss the chance to learn about coins that could change your life. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the world of coins, knowledge can also be money. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins from modern times, the 1986 Lincoln penny, a coin that at first glance may look ordinary but actually carries history, mystery, and surprising value that can shock many collectors and treasure hunters. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent or the 1-cent coin, has been part of American history since 1909 when it was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design created by Victor David Brenner showed the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. Later in 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This is the reverse design you will find on the 1986 Lincoln penny, the coin we are focusing on today. The letter D under the date tells us this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in the United States. In 1986, billions of these pennies were struck, making it seem like they would never be rare. But here is the secret. Even coins with massive mintages can turn into hidden treasures depending on their condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand. Now let's talk about the composition. By 1982 the United States Mint shifted from mostly copper coins to copper-plated zinc coins because copper had become too expensive. The 1986 Lincoln penny is primarily a zinc coin with a thin layer of copper on the surface. This makes the coin very light compared to older pennies. But it also means that these coins are vulnerable to damage, corrosion, and wear, so finding one in pristine condition is a real challenge. Collectors value coins for 3 big reasons: history, rarity, and condition. The 1986 Lincoln penny may not look rare at first, but when you examine high-grade examples, you realize that they are much scarcer than average worn pennies. A coin straight from circulation might only be worth its face value of 1 cent, but a coin preserved in mint state condition with brilliant luster, sharp strike, and no scratches can reach astonishing values at auctions. Let's reveal the numbers. The current known market value of a top-graded 1986 Lincoln penny can go as high as $779,336. Yes, you heard that correctly, nearly $800,000 for a single penny that you might overlook in your change. This unbelievable value comes when a coin is graded by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC and achieves a nearly perfect grade such as MS68 or higher with full red color designation. The higher the grade, the more collectors are willing to pay, but that's not all. The 1986 Lincoln penny also has a variety of valuable error coins. For example, strikes, double die obverse, repunched mint marks, or coins struck on transitional planchets can fetch thousands of dollars each. Some collectors specialize in hunting these error pennies because they are one of a kind and can bring massive premiums on the market. To understand why collectors go crazy for coins like this, think of it this way. Every ordinary penny is like a grain of sand on the beach. But every once in a while you find a perfectly formed rare gemstone among the sand. That gemstone is the mint state or error penny, and that is why its price skyrockets. Now let's look at how to identify if your 1986 penny is worth a fortune. First, check the condition. If your coin has sharp edges, bright red color, and no visible scratches, it could already be worth more than a few dollars. Second, check for mint errors under magnification. Doubling in the lettering, the date, or Lincoln's eye could mean you have a double die variety. Third, if you truly believe your coin is high quality, consider sending it to a professional grading service to authenticate and grade it. It is important to remember that most 1986 pennies will remain ordinary. But the thrill of coin collecting lies in the possibility that one day, in your pocket change or your old coin jar, you might stumble upon a rare example that could change your life. Imagine turning a coin worth 1 cent into a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the magic of numismatics. The 1986 penny also connects us with a bigger story. It reminds us of the transition from copper to zinc, a change in American coinage that still affects our pennies today. It also reflects the dedication of collectors who keep history alive by preserving coins that others ignore. And most of all, it symbolizes the idea that small things can hold enormous value. So next time you see a 1986 Lincoln penny, do not dismiss it as just another cent. Hold it carefully, study its details, and remember that within this tiny piece of metal lies history, beauty, and maybe even fortune. Here at JF Coin, we encourage you to keep learning, keep collecting, and never stop searching. Every coin tells a story, and the 1986 Lincoln penny is proof that treasures are hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the Lincoln cent, make sure to like this video, subscribe to JF Coin, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story about coins worth a fortune. Share this video with your friends and family so they too can check their pockets and maybe discover a hidden treasure. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most interesting modern United States coins, the Lincoln 1-cent coin from the year 1991 with the Denver Mint mark, also known as the 1991 D penny. At first glance this coin might look like just another ordinary cent, something you see every day and hardly notice, but once you learn its history, its varieties, and the amazing market value it can reach, you will never look at pennies the same way again. So let us begin with a little history. The Lincoln cent is one of the most famous coins in American history. It was first issued in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and for more than a century it has been a symbol of history, tradition, and trust. Over the years, the penny has gone through many changes, from the wheat reverse to the memorial design, and later to the shield design we see today. The 1991 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial era, which started in 1959 and continued until 2008. On the obverse, you see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and on the reverse, the majestic Lincoln Memorial. Now, what makes the 1991 D penny so special? Well, first of all, it was minted in Denver, which means it carries the small d mint mark under the date. Billions of these pennies were struck, but what collectors look for are those rare examples that have unusual qualities. These qualities include minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and high-grade uncirculated examples that survived the years in perfect condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. A coin that looks brand new with full red luster can be worth hundreds or even thousands of times more than one that has been circulating in pockets for decades. For the 1991 D Lincoln penny, most circulated coins are worth just 1 cent, maybe a little more to collectors who want a complete date and mint set. But the story changes dramatically when you look at coins in mint state condition. A perfectly preserved 1991 D penny graded MS67 or higher can bring big money at auctions. Some examples have sold for astonishing prices, shocking even experienced collectors. The current record market value for a 1991 D penny in superb gem condition has been reported as high as $779,335. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $800,000 for a 1-cent coin that most people would overlook or spend without a second thought. So why does this happen? It happens because rarity and condition meet together in the world of numismatics. While billions of 1991 D pennies were minted, finding one in flawless condition with no scratches, no marks, no spots, and full original red shine is extremely difficult. Collectors and investors are willing to pay premium prices to own one of the finest known examples. That is why coin grading services like PCGS and NGC play such an important role. They certify coins, assign grades, and provide assurance to buyers and sellers in the market. A 1991 D penny in lower grades might not be special, but once you cross into MS67 or MS68 territory, the value skyrockets. Another reason these coins are exciting is the possibility of errors. Error coins always attract attention because they are unique. Some 1991 pennies have been found with double die obverse, where parts of the design such as Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled. Others may show strikes or missing letters. These errors can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how dramatic the mistake is. So if you have a 1991 D penny, look closely with a magnifying glass. You might be holding a hidden treasure without even knowing it. Let us also talk about the composition of the 1991 D penny. Since 1982, United States cents have been made of a core of zinc with a thin layer of copper plating. This change was made because copper had become too expensive. So the 1991 penny is 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. Some collectors prefer older all-copper pennies, but even the zinc pennies have their place in history. And because zinc coins can corrode or develop spots, finding one in perfect condition becomes even harder, adding to the rarity and therefore the value. Now, let us bring it back to the collector's perspective. Suppose you are a beginner in coin collecting and you wonder how to find valuable coins like the 1991 D penny. The answer is patience and attention to detail. Always check your change. Always examine rolls of pennies from the bank. Keep an eye out for coins that look brand new, shiny, or unusual. If you find a 1991 D penny that stands out, consider keeping it aside and perhaps sending it to be graded if it looks flawless. Remember, even though the chances of finding a nearly $800,000 coin are small, it only takes one lucky discovery to change your story. Many collectors have found rare coins in circulation, and there is always hope that you could be next. Collectors love the Lincoln penny because it connects history, art, and money in one small piece. The 1991 D penny is a great example of how a simple coin can hold stories of design, economics, and unexpected value. Whether you keep it for sentimental reasons, for building a collection, or as an investment, the penny will always be America's most famous coin. So to wrap things up, the 1991 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but it has extraordinary potential. Circulated coins are mostly worth a cent, but uncirculated gems can sell for hundreds, thousands, and in rare cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. The current market has shown us jaw-dropping prices, with values reported around $779,335 for the absolute finest known examples. This is why collectors never underestimate even the smallest coin. Every penny counts, and sometimes that penny could be worth a fortune. Thank you so much for watching this video on JF Coin. If you enjoyed learning about the 1991 D. Lincoln penny, its history, its composition, its varieties, and its incredible market value, then make sure to subscribe to the channel for more exciting content about rare coins and hidden treasures. Do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another episode. And remember, always check your change, because the next valuable coin could already be in your pocket. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of the modern United States Mint, the 1993 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin. At first glance, this penny looks ordinary, something you might find rolling around in your drawer or sitting at the bottom of a jar. But the truth is far more exciting. The 1993 D. Lincoln penny has a history, it has value, and in the world of coin collectors, it can be worth an absolutely staggering amount of money. The Lincoln penny is one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. It first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. For over a century it has been struck in billions of pieces, passing through countless hands and witnessing the changing face of the American economy. But within this sea of copper-plated zinc coins, there are hidden treasures. Mistakes, mint marks, and special conditions can transform a 1-cent coin into something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1993 penny with the D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver, is one such example that has captured the attention of collectors. In circulation it seems common, but when you look closely at certain rare examples, you discover something incredible. Imagine holding a coin that everyone else ignores, but in the eyes of collectors it could bring in a jaw-dropping market value of $779,333. Yes, you heard that correctly. Over $700,000 for a coin that was originally worth just a single cent. Why would this happen? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. Most 1993 D pennies are ordinary and worth face value. But in special mint state conditions, with flawless details, shimmering luster, and absolutely no wear, these coins are prized by numismatists. Add in the possibility of minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions, and suddenly you are holding a treasure. These errors are not meant to exist, and because so few escape the mint, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for them. Let's talk about the design for a moment. On the obverse we see the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The year 1993 is boldly struck below, with the letter D representing the Denver Mint. On the reverse we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, a symbol of strength and unity. What makes these coins fascinating is how such an ordinary design can hide such extraordinary value. To most people it is just a penny, but to us it is a window into American history and the artistry of minting. Now let's discuss the market value in detail. For an average circulated 1993 D penny, you will get only 1 cent. But if you find one in mint state condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the story changes dramatically. High-grade examples in MS-67 or MS-68 can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And then there are those extremely rare varieties or errors that push the value into the stratosphere. That is how we get to the unbelievable figure of $779,333. This value is not random. It reflects what collectors are willing to pay in auctions when the rarest examples appear. Collectors know that the Lincoln series is one of the most studied and beloved coin series in the United States. Every detail matters. The thickness of the letters, the sharpness of the portrait, the brilliance of the copper plating, even tiny differences in the strike. All these elements come together to create rarity. And when rarity meets demand, prices soar. That is why the 1993 D penny is not just another coin. It is a reminder that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Imagine walking into a coin shop or browsing through a coin show, and on a table you spot a shiny 1993 D penny. Others walk past it, ignoring it, but you know better. You pick it up, study it under magnification, and you see perfection. In that moment, you are holding a coin that could change your life. That is the thrill of coin collecting. That is why we love what we do here on jfcoin.so. The next time you open your wallet or go through your change, pay close attention. Look at the dates. Look at the mint marks. And never underestimate the power of a penny. The 1993 D Lincoln cent proves that even the smallest coin can carry a story of history, art, and incredible wealth. Here at JF Coin, we believe coins are more than just money. They are pieces of time, tiny witnesses to history, and sometimes, they are hidden jackpots. The 1993 D Lincoln penny is living proof. From its humble 1 cent beginning to its unbelievable market value today, it represents the magic of numismatics. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you stay with us for more fascinating stories about coins that you may have in your own pocket right now. Remember, the next great treasure is just waiting to be discovered. This is JF Coin. Today, we are diving into the amazing story of a United States 1 cent coin that has shocked the market with its incredible value. Yes, I am talking about the 1993 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary coin in your pocket, but once you understand its history, rarity, and current market demand, you will realize that this tiny copper piece could actually be worth a fortune. Right now, the market value has reached an unbelievable $779,334. That is right, almost $800,000 for a single penny that most people would ignore or spend without even thinking. Let's start by taking a journey back to the year 1993. The United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents that year. The D Mint mark stands for Denver, one of the main minting facilities in America. These coins were part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. The design with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse has become one of the most iconic and longest-running designs in the entire world of coinage. By 1993, the coin had already gone through several transitions, from being struck in mostly copper to becoming a copper-plated zinc coin starting in 1982. That meant the 1993 D penny was not solid copper but a combination of zinc with a thin copper plating, which sometimes resulted in striking issues, errors, or variations. And here is where the story gets fascinating. Among the billions of 1993 D pennies, a very small number were struck with errors or with such pristine conditions that today they stand out as treasures. Collectors are constantly hunting for coins with rare die varieties, double dies, minting mistakes, or coins that have survived in perfect mint state condition. The 1993 D penny, especially in flawless grades, has been setting auction records. One reason this coin has exploded in value is the increasing interest in modern coinage. While people used to think only older coins were valuable, in reality, many modern-era coins are now selling for sky-high prices because collectors realize that finding perfect untouched examples is becoming harder every day. Now let's talk about the current market value. Recent reports and sales have shocked the collecting world, with the 1993 D penny reaching a staggering $779,334. Imagine checking your change and realizing you might be holding a life-changing amount of money. This is the magic of coin collecting. What looks ordinary to one person can be priceless to another, especially when collectors and investors compete to own a unique piece of numismatic history. The market is alive, energetic, and full of opportunities. Every month, coin auctions, online marketplaces, and private dealers witness incredible battles over rare pennies like this. And when the gavel falls, sometimes the winning bid is more than the price of a luxury house or even a sports car, all for 1 cent struck in 1993. The 1993 D penny also carries symbolic value. It represents the continuing story of Lincoln's legacy, the American minting tradition, and the surprise potential of modern coins. Collectors love it not only for its rarity but also because it reminds us that history lives in our hands. Every coin has traveled, every cent has passed through countless pockets, every penny carries memories of the past 3 decades. To think that one of those small coins can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is nothing short of breathtaking. So, how can you tell if you own a valuable 1993 D penny? First, check the condition. The higher the grade, the more the value skyrockets. Coins in mint state, with original luster and no visible wear, are the ones that bring record-breaking prices. Second, look for possible errors. Some coins might have doubling on the date, the mint mark, or letters of the word liberty and in God we trust. Others might have striking mistakes such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusual colorations caused by minting issues. Even the smallest details can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Finally, always consider professional grading. Coins certified by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC are trusted worldwide and bring the highest bids at auctions. The journey of the 1993 D penny is not just about money. It is about passion, history, and the excitement of discovery. Collectors all around the globe are searching their jars, boxes, and old collections hoping to find this shining gem. This coin proves that even in the modern era, the world of coins is full of surprises. Many people think treasures only exist in museums or ancient hoards, but the truth is they might be sitting right in your own wallet, waiting to be discovered. On JF Coin, we always bring you the most fascinating stories from the world of numismatics. From rare cents to legendary gold pieces, our mission is to educate, inspire, and entertain all coin enthusiasts. The 1993 D penny is one of the most exciting stories we have covered, and it shows why coin collecting is not just a hobby, but also a journey into the heart of history and value. Before we wrap up, let's imagine this. You are holding a 1993 penny right now. Maybe it looks shiny, maybe it looks ordinary. But hidden within it could be a ticket to life-changing money. This is why checking your coins is so important. Every coin has a story, every penny has potential, and who knows, the next big discovery could be yours. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are going to talk about one of the most fascinating coins ever minted in the modern age, the Lincoln penny, specifically the 2002 Lincoln 1-cent coin. Believe it or not, a coin that many people overlook every single day is currently shocking collectors and the market with values that will leave you speechless. Stay with me until the very end of this video because I will reveal not only the full story and history of this coin, but also the unbelievable market value which today stands at $779,332. Yes, you heard me right, more than $750,000 for just a single 1-cent coin. Now let us begin with the background. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, has been part of American coinage since 1909. It was first issued to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln, who remains one of the most respected leaders in United States history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin carried Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side, making it the first regular United States coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic image. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has become more than just money. It is a cultural icon, a tiny piece of metal that carries history, patriotism, and sometimes even hidden fortune. Now let us zoom into the year 2002. The Denver Mint produced the 2002 Lincoln penny. On the surface, it looks like an ordinary coin. Copper-plated zinc composition, weighing just 2.5 grams, diameter 19 millimeters, with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln facing right on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Millions of these coins rolled out of the mint, and for most people, they are simply pocket change. But here is the twist. Among these coins, there are rare varieties, errors, and unique examples that collectors go absolutely crazy for. So why is this coin commanding such a jaw-dropping value in the market today? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. While billions of pennies are produced, certain coins come out with striking errors or exceptional preservation that make them highly desirable. For the 2002 Lincoln penny, error coins such as double dies, strikes, misaligned dies, and clipped planchets are all worth examining. But the real treasure lies in coins that have survived in perfect or nearly perfect condition, graded by professional coin services at the highest levels such as Mint State 68 or Mint State 69. These coins are so flawless that they become treasures in the eyes of collectors worldwide. The market for Lincoln cents is booming. With the rising popularity of coin collecting, auctions and private sales have skyrocketed. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums to own the very best examples of coins they are passionate about. That is why today, we are seeing certain 2002 Lincoln pennies valued at over $779,000. Yes, a coin that was minted only 2 decades ago, with a face value of 1 cent, has turned into a life-changing fortune. Think about this. Imagine finding a penny in your coin jar, in your pocket, or in an old box of change. You might just be holding onto a treasure worth more than most cars, houses, or even businesses. That is the thrill of coin collecting. It is the hunt, the discovery, and the possibility that an everyday object could carry unimaginable value. Now let us talk about history for a moment. Lincoln cents from the early years are already known for incredible value, such as the famous 1909 SVDB or the 1914 D. But what makes modern coins like the 2002 Lincoln penny so exciting is the surprise factor. People expect old coins to be rare. What they do not expect is a coin minted in recent memory, one that many of us handled as kids or even today, suddenly being worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This shift changes the way collectors and the public see coins. It is no longer just about age. It is about quality, rarity, and the story each coin tells, and that story continues today. Every collector who owns a 2002 Lincoln penny looks closely at its surfaces, checks for errors, and wonders whether theirs is the next headline-making coin. Dealers, auction houses, and grading services are constantly monitoring these pieces, and with demand climbing, values continue to rise. The coin market is like a living organism, always moving, always surprising, and right now, the Lincoln penny is at the center of attention. Here is the key message for all viewers. Never overlook your pennies. Every time you come across a Lincoln cent, especially from years like 2002, check carefully. Look for luster, look for sharp details, and if you suspect you have a high-grade coin, consider having it professionally graded. Who knows, your humble penny could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So let us recap. The Lincoln penny, born in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, has become one of the most iconic and collectible coins in American history. The 2002 Lincoln penny, a coin most people overlook, has stunned the market with a current recorded value of $779,332. That is the magic of numismatics. That is why coin collecting continues to inspire, excite, and reward those who are curious and passionate. Thank you for watching today's video on JF Coin. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to JF Coin, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update on the treasures that could be hiding in your pocket. Share this video with your friends and family so they too can learn the true value of coins they might be carrying every single day. Remember, the next great discovery could be in your hands right now. This is JF Coin.